G'day and welcome to episode 81 of the Guy Who Sews podcast. My name is Sean and this is my weekly podcast where I share my quilting adventures. I'd like to welcome both new and returning viewers to the podcast, but if you are new, I would love it if you take just a few moments to say hi in the comments so we all know we have a new friend. Come see what I've been up to, what I'm working on, and what's coming up in the pipeline soon. But let's go ahead and get started with our works in progress. This week was a challenging week. We had quite a bit going on. I didn't get quite as much sewing done as I wanted to, but I still got a decent amount done, which is awesome. The first thing I want to share is the City Avenues quilt, and I did one of the middle strips, which I want to call the Avenue part of it, and this is what it looks like, and I thought it turned out really nicely. It's just a wide array of scraps that I've used. They're all 2.5-inch squares. These are offcuts from when I was making drawstring project bags for knitters and crocheters over the last few years. And then I also went ahead and made one of the next blocks, which is a 16 patch. And I'm really enjoying this because it's all scraps, except for the white parts, of course. And it's just been a lot of fun. And there have been a few people asking, is there a pattern for it? And at the moment, there is not, but that is in the works. The inspiration that I found for this was online. The person that made the similar sort of quilt does not have a pattern either, so I'm actually sitting there in the process of trying to draw up a pattern and everything else there as well, and maybe do a tutorial, so keep an eye out for that and we'll definitely show that to you in the very near future. And then the other thing I got started this week was the Wizard of Oz. I ended up choosing to do Toto first, and I haven't started it yet, but I am cutting out the blocks. So here's some of the pieces. I still have to cut out the light brown and the blue background, so hopefully next week I'll be able to show you that completed block, or at least some progress on it. So now let's move on to our week in review. And if you're new to the channel, this is just a series of videos to take during the week, mostly of me sewing, but also some of the doggos and anything else we get up to, so I hope you enjoy. Last week I asked everybody if they have ever met anyone famous. Some had not, and some had met some pretty prominent and famous people. There was past US presidents, other famous people, and it was just really fun to hear about the different people that my viewers have met. I have met a couple of race car drivers over the times, both Australian and international, and also some of Australian country music stars, because the city where I grew up was the Australian equivalent of Nashville. They had a huge country music festival every January and so forth. So this week I thought I'd have another fun question, and for some reason this week I've been watching some 80s movies, and I thought it'd be fun to go back and see what 80s movies, or 70s or even early 90s movies you would recommend someone to watch if they wanted to watch something from that time period, because to me it's one of the best time periods in the world. So let me know what 80s movie I need to watch. So now it is time to talk about my goals, and I have a few goals in mind. The first one is I'd like to get finished cutting out my Toto block and try and assemble that. The next one is do some more work on one of the t-shirt quilts that I'm working on. I need to measure up the last few of the shirts and then start cutting them out and putting the fusible interfacing on the back of those. And then I'd also like to get some work done on my Cotton Cuts gnomes that they sent to me to review and do a video on as well. So I've got quite a bit in the works this week that I'd like to get done. Let me know what your goals are. So in case you've missed it, I had a number of videos come out this week. The first one was the results video for the giveaway for the WIP journal, and the lucky winner for that was Jeannie Eve, and I was super excited to get that off to her, and she should have that journal very shortly, if not already. Then on Wednesday, I released Clue 5 time-lapse of the Village Green Puzzle Mystery Quilt by Cut and Cuts, and that was a lot of fun. And if you haven't seen that, it's just a short video where I show each step of it going together, and it's about 4 minutes long, so it's super short. And then on Friday, I did a similar style video for the Wicked Witch block from Art East Quilt Company. You see the whole thing come together in about 5 minutes. It's 135 pieces. It's a lot of fun to see, and it's been very well received from the comments I've seen so far. And then last but not least was my live with my good friend Martha from Martha's Creative Life. We had our breakfast with the guy who sews yesterday, and we sewed Clue 6 of the Puzzle Mystery Quilt together, and it was a lot of fun. So if you've missed those videos, definitely go back and check them out. They're all a lot of fun, and I always love hearing comments from you guys. So upcoming videos, next Saturday morning I'm going to have my breakfast with the guy who sews as usual, and I have one of my special guests returning. It is none other than Danny from Sew Not an Expert. She's been on a couple of times before, and I'm super excited to have her back. We're just going to do some sewing, a lot of chat. It's going to be a lot of fun, so you don't want to miss that. I also plan to release a video, assuming I get everything done, making these blocks from Cut and Cuts, the March Gnomes, and I'm also going to use the Quilt Smart interfacing and show you how that works as well. And then, if time allows, I'd like to get a tutorial done or a review done on the Quilter's slide block by So Be It Quilts. This has been a fun addition to my cutting arsenal, and I absolutely love it, and I just want to talk a bit more about that. So keep an eye out for those videos throughout the next week or so. I've been doing this channel for about 18 months, and I've had a lot of fun. I've made a lot of friends, and right before recording this episode, I got a notification that I had actually hit 100,000 views over the lifetime of the channel. I think that's an amazing achievement. I'm so happy with that as well, and I'd just like to thank each and every person that has come onto the channel, hit that play button, and been part of that journey. So thank you to everybody for that. So now it is time to talk about some completed items, and even though I didn't get as much done sewing wise as I wanted to, I still got a number of completed projects or completed blocks done, and that's always an awesome thing. The first one was the Clue 6 of the Puzzle Mystery Quilt, which I talked about on my live a little bit earlier in the episode, and this is block 6A, and I just love how colorful and bright this is, evolved from purples and blues. And then this is block 6B. And I did have to bring up my friend Jack a couple of times. I ended up putting this section here on upside down, and it was, I think, this part here I had to redo. But you know what? Sometimes Jack is a necessary evil inside the world of sewing. So that's the first thing I made. And then the second thing was this, which is a headphones case. I am not usually a bag maker, but my wife Amanda asked me if I'd make a headphones case for her, and she found a pattern for it, and it was more for the small like earbuds, and I figured, you know, let's see if we can make it just a little bit bigger to suit over the headphones. I'll put the link to that pattern in the description below for anyone that might be interested. So that concludes today's episode. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed the episode. If you did, hit that like button, and I always love hearing comments from everybody. So I hope you all have a great day, happy sewing, and we'll see you on the next video.